parents were from, where we came from, color. You know, he divided us by social, and he succeeded, and he's going to continue doing it.
Well, you know, he always wanted to be king, but you know, there are very few kings, but there are also queens, and queens last forever, I believe. The queens are the male or female queens are the most powerful, the strongest people, and the people that we should follow. We follow kings. Let's welcome Lana Parrilla into this wonderful party. I don't think I sent her the details. Come on in, darling.
Hello, no, you did. It's my bad. It's my bad. Oh my God. I've been trying to get on board with Cinco de Mayo, and I was like, this is what I was doing. I was cleaning shrimp. And,
so to cook
I lost track of time. So I'm so sorry.
What are you making?
I'm very clean, like. Hi, how are you? We are making shrimp tacos for Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, and you know, shrimp tacos were very elegant, you know, because in my house, I was a vegetarian for the first 14 years of my life. Nobody knows that because my grandma told me that the meat was for important people.
Well,
so they take it right off the plate.
What we realized is that we needed to marinate our steak like 5 hours ago. So we were like, all right, what do we have? We have shrimp. So we're making shrimp tacos, and it's like
that works.
Lana, can I ask you, because you are in love with Lola, you love pets.
Yes.
You're I won't say a crazy dog person, yeah. But Ana has Cha-Cha, and Cha-Cha is a young puppy. Can you give her some, is Cha-Cha potty trained, or does she just go in the closet, or where, Ana, is she?
Cha-Cha does whatever the hell Cha-Cha wants. Donde quiera, como quiera, cuando quiera.
Well, that sounds like Lola.
But I've been Cha-Cha's become a real dog in quarantine, because, you know, we lived in an apartment for the longest time, and she used to pee on pee-pee pads, and now I take her out for walks, and she's chasing lizards and she's like being a real dog, and I'm like, oh, and rolling in the grass, and I'm like, Cha-Cha, you stink. You gotta stop this, please. You're a diva. Go back to being a princess.
But see, I find that the dogs are very lost with us being home all the time. I think they're like fed up. They're like, why are you still here? My job is to miss you. My job is to wait by the window and then get really excited when you come home. But now I get snacks whenever I want snacks, and I have no one to greet. They're not very happy, actually.
Well,
I think you have a point. All right, George,
do you agree? Wait a minute. Do you agree that if you're involved with someone romantically and they have never met your pet, and you love your dog, you love your cat, let's say dogs, you're involved with someone who has not met your pet, and you love your pet, you spend all the time with your pet. Now, let's say that when your pet sees the person that you're involved with, whether it barks at that person or pees when he sees her, or runs and won't come and say hello, is that indicative of the energy of that person?
I think so. I think it's like how children respond to adults. It's a very similar thing. You know, it's like children kind of, they either are very open and warm with people who are very open and warm and love kids, or they kind of hide behind you if they're not like, if they don't know if they can trust this person or not. And dogs are very similar. I think dogs, when they respond to people and run to them and lick their face and get really excited to see them, then you know you're dealing with the good person.
Have you found that, Ana?
Listen, you know, we were talking about how my husband had surgery. I've never seen the kind of loyalty that the dog is displaying. Cha-Cha, I mean, there are times when I want to strangle him, and Cha-Cha is right there next to him the entire time. Trust an animal's instinct. That's why, you know, it's not about making everything political, but there are very few precedents, certainly in my lifetime, that haven't had a pet. Okay, people, do not vote for somebody that does not have the ability to love a pet and be loved by a pet. That should tell you that person is stunted.
Don't trust those people.
Yes.
Okay, then
And by a pet,
have
of
you?
course, I don't mean, when I say he doesn't have a pet, I'm excluding Jared from the conversation.
Oh. Yeah. You know, this is gonna. Yeah, that's true. You never hear him talk. Can you be a dog and cat person, or can you just be like, I've never really had a cat. I've always been a dog person, but some people are only cat people and don't like dogs, and then some people try to have a dog and cat. Is there one? Have you guys ever had a cat?
I can't stand cats.
Yeah, I had both, but I'm more of a dog person.
Cats are fickle. You know, it's like when I go to people's houses who have cats, it's like cats roam around everything. They're they're like on counters and they're everywhere. But no, I like my little 4-pound poodle. I don't know where she is.
Well,
I really do think she's
I think when people have cats and they get so used to, because the cats, you know, they go in the litter box or they go wherever. Sometimes you'll go to somebody's house and it'll smell like shit and piss, and they'll be sitting there like it's the freshest day ever, and they're like, "Hey, come on in," and you're like, "Hey, well, God, how many cats do you have?" Jesus, why?
Let me tell you something. You better shut up, because the cat people are gonna come for you bad. Okay, you're going to end up like Carol Baskin's husband in Tiger King, covered in sardine oil and disappeared. Stop talking
but listen,
cat people.
You know, listen, Anna was the first one who told me, listen, George, you're getting up there in age. Your fucking rescue dogs aren't going to call 911 if you fall. You need to get somebody that lives with you, because they're going to find you upstairs, upside down, dead 4 days later.
Yeah, but when I said somebody that lives with you, I didn't mean somebody you're paying. I mean somebody that loves you to live with you, so that you can, so that either that or
what you can grow old with.
Get a clapper, George. Clap. Clap on and clap off. So I'm going to give you one of those things. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah, one of those.
She thought that me living alone, that I would have an ataque and I wouldn't be able to get to the phone, and they would find me upstairs.
Well, that happens to a lot of people. I think
she has a good point. She has a good point. I agree with you, Anna.
Yeah, get over your fear of commitment already. It's about time.
Arsenio said, you want to know how to make George disappear? Just tell him you love him. Magic trick. How do you get George to disappear? I love you. Yeah.
Do you think that happened? Do you think that happened because of your divorce and because of the contention there, or do you think that comes from further back?
I think it comes from further back. In my 20 years of therapy, and we're high into 6 figures now. And then I told you that I was lying to my therapist, and I said, if I'm lying to my therapist, I'm really fucked up, because that's the guy you're not supposed to. Unless you kill somebody, he can't turn you in. But you can tell him. I'm supposed to be honest with him. And, I even told him one time, I said, listen, man, I got to be honest with you. I've been lying to you. And he goes, I know, and like everybody else, I guess I was a bad liar. But I have a meeting with him, a session with him tomorrow. And he goes, my price went up. Of course. The last time I saw you was $19.99. But I think that it came from so many people coming in and out of my life growing up, that you didn't know how long somebody was going to be around, and that you end up leaving before somebody leaves you. That's a $65,000 treatment right there.
Well, listen, loving somebody and allowing yourself to be loved, it exposes you makes you vulnerable, and you gotta, it's a risk. It's a risk, and you gotta be willing to take it and know that sometimes it means getting hurt.
Yeah, but you're going to survive it. That's the thing. You may get your heart broken, but you'll live. You will live.
Have we created a cure for heartbreak? Is there something we can take? I know there's a lot of pills now.
There's a potion, but it's going to cost. It's going to cost.
But we've created so many things, but have we created a pill that eliminates heartache? I don't think so.
Honey, right now I'm focusing on the coronavirus vaccine.
It's called meditation.
Let's prioritize, okay, our issues. You know what they say in Nicaragua? Un clavo saca otro clavo.
Wait a minute, what does that mean? A nail?
Un clavo. You know when you got a nail stuck in the wall?
Yeah.
And you can't pull it out? And then so you put another nail
and it's like underneath it.
Saca otro clavo.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only way of getting over heartbreak is by falling in love again.
There's a lot of damaged people. Does anybody want to grow old together besides me? Leave me a message and I'll get back to you on Facebook. Listen, you live downstairs. You know, I had somebody come and see me that I was seeing for a little while, and then she said, "How come I never get to go upstairs?" And I said, "No, that's a facade, like Universal Studios. There's nothing up there."
You wouldn't let her upstairs?
She was quarantined.
Like my grandmother. That's for important. Like my grandmother. That's for important people.
Dude, and this is after how many sessions of therapy?
It's been.
I want a refund.
And I've been in trouble. Like, you know, sometimes when a show ends at the end of the season, you think, how the hell are they going to get out of that? You know that, Lana. Once upon a time, you're like, what are they going to do? I've been in my life a couple of those. I managed to dig myself out. But sometimes you think, there's no way I'm getting out of this, or there's no way that person is getting out of it, right?
You know, I know somebody in Hollywood that tells me they go into a funk, like a depression, almost like a heartbreak, like a breakup every time they finish a show.
Yeah, I mean, I actually finished Breaking Bad and I was having, you know, Walter White withdrawals and Jesse withdrawals, and I actually missed them.
Okay, let's talk about, if we will, let's talk about when your own show ends. How do you feel when your own show? I went 120, and there is a bit of the depression. There is a bit of a shock because when it ends, you don't go and they go, we'll start coming back 3 days a week. It's over. How were you, Lana, when Once Upon a Time ended?
Well, I did 156 episodes, and it was devastating. And they were, you know, full 1 hour, so it was good, solid 7 years. And it's still like I have these moments where it's like, wait a second, okay, that's not my life anymore. But you're also kind of missing the character, and you have to sort of like, you know, it's like a divorce. It really is.
Yeah, sure.
It's like a divorce from a character, from a community of people, from, you know, the community of a crew, and let alone it was in a different country. So yeah, it was hard.
What you guys need to do is go on one of those Anglo telenovelas. Those shits never end. I mean, it's like you're born watching Days of Our Lives and you die and the thing's still going on.
Yeah, but what if you don't want to work with those people for 12 years? Then you're screwed.
Well, you can stage a death and then you can come back 10 years. You know, you can then come back when the cast changes, because it's like people die and they come back. I don't get that. Telenovelas without an end, I don't get it.
Let me say, when you're doing an hour, like Eva did my sitcom, and she had half a page of dialogue, and she said, give me a few minutes to work this out. I went to my dressing room, and when I got there, they knocked, and they're like, she's ready. I'm like, there's no way that there's no way that she's ready. And I wasn't ready, and I had very little. And I went in there and I said, do you know this? And she goes, yeah. And I go, how the fuck did you learn it so fast? She goes, I was on a soap opera. Like that's what we do, like hour long, like you, right? You have the monologues, page and a half of a monologue, and you got to remember it. It's a muscle that you work and you do remember it, but I couldn't do that.
I know my next job is going to take me like 4 days to remember half a scene because I haven't worked. It's going to be like, wait, that muscle's still out of practice right now. But yeah, you just fall into it. It becomes like a thing. It is a muscle. The more you work it, the easier it becomes.
And I know that you guys met. Do you know each other well? Maybe not, right?
No, but from Eva, right? Through Eva.
But from Eva.
Yeah.
The little connector. And when was that you guys were together? When you sent me that picture, I think you guys were all loaded. That was our party.
It was her foundation, wasn't it? Foundation event.
Eva's foundation.
Yeah.
I don't know, George.
But I love that.
Us being loaded and remembering where we were.
That's a
There's
good
an
point.
oxymoron waiting to.
But I can only
Don't
imagine
ask
it was
us.
at one of her events, because if that's the connect, then it had to be.
But Lana,
Well,
you
it
have
could have been her
remained
baby shower. We
self-quarantined,
were
right?
all loaded at her baby shower.
That's
And in
okay.
pajamas.
Lana,
Um,
how have you managed this self-quarantine?
I mean, I've been doing a great job. Just, I'm gonna join you with some tequila. Hold on a second.
Oh, wait a minute.
There was bust out. This is a very special bottle that someone gave me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh.
What is that?
This was a gift.
It's called Asombroso. We serve that at the party where marijuana is also served.
But that's
that's magic potion.
Tequila.
This is magic.
Pero mira, so it has a glass top that makes it look phallic, Anna. It looks like a penis. So in Europe, the penis looks, it's a symbol of success and fertility. But in the United States, they go, I'm not buying the tequila. It looks like a dick. So I gave it to Lana without the top.
A lot easier to deal with than this bottle right now.
Wait, can you hold that up so I can see what he's talking about here?
No, I didn't give her that. I kept it here. El pedacito. Yeah, pour a shot, Lana. Pour a shot.
I'm gonna pour a shot. I'm gonna pour the shot.
I don't know where Anna's talking. Anna, I think, is at the El Torito down the street right there. In our
No, I'm at the bar in my house. You know I have a full bar.
Wait a minute.
My house.
Hey, what are the odds I can get Mark Anthony to sing to you by the time we're done with this thing? So Lana, I was talking to Anna, and she's listening to music. It's Mark Anthony, and we're drinking and we're talking, and all of a sudden she stops and just freezes and goes like this, and I'm like, Al, call 911. She goes, don't you just love Mark Anthony? And she just stopped and was frozen.
I love that, Flaco. Wait, do you remember the time I called you from his boat?
Yes.
Tell Lana that story.
I did. So I get a call and it's FaceTime. I'm backstage and it's it's Anna with Mark Anthony, and they're on Mark Anthony's yacht. And he goes, "Hey, Papi, ¿qué pasó?" I said, "Hey, what's up?" And then Anna says, "Hey, George, he thinks he's funny. Is he not funny?" I said, "He's hilarious."
He's hilarious.
And she goes, and he goes, "She doesn't think I'm funny." I'm like, "Oh man, Mark Anthony." There's another thing of like Frank's truly a guy of that stature that can fill up an auditorium, an arena, a stadium, the world with that voice he's,
but you know what cracked me up?
Amazing.
When I said to you, because he says he's a great golf player. And I said to you, this guy says he's a great golf player and that he's played golf with you. And you said, yeah, you said he's a great golf player. And when I'm done playing with him, I pick him up and I put him in the bag with the other sticks.
I was trying to get away without saying that. Oh my God.
But he laughed, I'm sure.
But
you get away with saying a lot, George.
You know what I have found is sometimes, like Anna and I didn't know each other. Lana, you and I become very close, and there's a warmth and there's a love that maybe people see as fans, but it's not like really getting to know somebody. Is loving and caring and sweet, and not afraid to have a little bit of tequila every now and then.
Cheers to you both.
Ana, put them up there from the ahí, Calle Ocho.
Can we talk about that though? Mark Anthony, Puerto Rican. I was born in Nicaragua. You're from, you're Mexican descent, 4th generation. What brings us together? If I asked you, what are the values we share? Well, you know what? Let's welcome.
Family.
Let's welcome another actor, comedian, star of Mayans on FX, Emilio Rivera, down allá abajo. Did you catch that question, Emilio? What brings us together?
I mean, the Latinos, ¿verdad?
Momo?
Not being able to operate technology.
Momo, tell the county jail to feed them later. Okay, Lana, you can answer that question while we while Emilio, while they slide the food under his door.
Although he is very entertaining. I enjoy watching him.
Yes, Lana, please.
Family, I think like our food, family. It's Latino. I mean, we're very proud of culture. Very proud.
Can I say that there's someone who I've never seen eat processed? Lana doesn't mess around. Like if they're gonna eat, they cook something good. They're not like, oh, let me just get a couple of pieces of bread and some. They eat over there. Like they don't mess around.
Can you
They hold up their food. No, but they hold up the food and they go, look what we're having. I'm like,
no, but I've sent food to George. He ate some of my homemade food. I dropped it off during the quarantine.
And then I sit outside and cry because I'm eating by myself. No, but Emilio, are you there? Huh? But he don't forget to dye his hair, huh? Okay, we'll wait till Emilio gets in here.
George, you're missing out because men of this generation all know how to cook. Millennials cook.
George, what's your best?
If I sign you up to one of those HelloFresh subscriptions, will you do something?
No, wait, George, you made guacamole that time on Family Sunday.
Listen, here's the way I roll. I went fishing in San Diego. I caught some fish, and I was the big, I went early in the morning. I caught 7 different types of fish, and they said, hey, they were tapping me on the back. I said, I'm not really a fisherman. When I landed, there was some chinitos there, and I sold them the fish. I broke even, then I drove back home. I really did. They said, you're going to have fresh fish tonight. I sold the fish, broke even, including gas. Emilio, are you there? Chingato.
Can you hear me, Carnal? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I think it's the glass between us, but you're not used to that. Orale. Say hello to Lana, Parrilla, and to Ana Navarro, who is wearing the Frida Kahlo collection over there in Florida.
Right on. Good to see you all. Happy Cinco de Mayo, huh?
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
If there's a man anywhere, even though he's a Rams fan, that has more love for his wife and more respect for his family, there's not a guy that has more respect for that than Emilio Rivera. We're completely opposite, right? Where does that come from, Emilio? We were talking about that. Where does that come from?
You know what? Love and lost, brother. Love and lost. You know what I'm saying? And you learn over the years. So yeah. It's not like I saw it growing up. You know what I mean? So it's just more from experience. And I'm on my last lap right now. So you know what? I'm gonna make it the best I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Emilio and I started as comedians, and then how did you get into acting? Because everybody knows how Danny Trejo got into acting. He went to prison, and then somebody tattooed the Rosarita refried bean woman on his chest, and he became a star. Do you guys know that that's the Rosarita refried bean logo on Danny Trejo's chest? How did you get started into acting, Emilio?
You know what, Carnal? I'm from the barrio. I come from the streets. I ran most of my life in gangs and the drugs and all that shit. And then next week I'll have 30 years clean and sober. And when I got clean and sober, I needed some kind of high, brother. You dig what I'm saying? And I've always liked the movies. And I had a psychiatrist I had to see when I was getting clean and sober. And he told me, what made you happy in your whole life? And, I was always a stutterer. I still stutter now, but when I was a kid, I really stuttered bad. And I remember I got cast in a play, Rumpelstiltskin when I was 8 years old. And I didn't stutter not one time, And I remember everybody clapped for me and I felt so good. And I went back that far back to feel something that made me feel good, So he goes, well, you should be an actor. And so I gave it a shot. I got a mentor. I was such a hard vato that I had to do something to break out of who I was, And the theater, I did a lot of theater, and the comedy let people laugh at me. And he said, you gotta let people laugh at you because you have such a mean demeanor, And and it just worked out, brother. I mean, after like 4 years of comedy and stand-up theater, I got into the acting real heavy, and the acting took over, So it's been a blessing, but I thank God every day for that,
Yeah, you're amazing at what you do. And then right below you is a guy who loves Mexicans so much that he would become Che Rivera since the time we locked down. Anthony Anderson, say hello to say hello,
Oh,
Che.
hell,
Say hello.
he is Che Lana.
Say
What's
hello,
up, Anthony?
Che.
How you doing, brother?
Che, Anthony.
Emilio, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, my brother? I've been watching you, bro. I've been watching you.
Hey, brother. Hey, I've been watching you, baby. I've been watching you.
Congratulations, my brother. You're doing great, my
Thank you.
beautiful
So
work. Beautiful work.
this is what I want to say about Anthony. Anthony had and I want him to tell us how this works because I believe this is the future of taking the lead. Anthony had an incredible Super Bowl commercial that aired during the Super Bowl for T-Mobile. Anthony, will you tell everybody the process and what you ended up doing to make that happen? Because it's a game changer.
My buddy I've known for 25 years, Andrew Panay, has his own marketing firm. And so we sat down, we talked about, being in business together because we hadn't been in business together in years. He went his way, I went mine. And I would say, yeah, let's do it. Let's figure it out. He said, T-Mobile is a client. Let's do something with you and your mother. I was like, bet. So my other buddy, Adam Glass, he and a couple other cats, they wrote a spec, put it together, and we went out and shot it on our own. Just me and my mom and the team. We then went to T-Mobile and pitched the idea of us being their spokesperson for their next campaign. And they were like, we love Anthony Anderson and his mom. They're great. We would love to see that. And my guy, Andrew Panay, said, well, you can look at it right now. And he popped in our spec in which we shot it, and they fell in love with it and wanted it to be their Super Bowl spot. And the shit was just crazy. And we didn't really need to reshoot what we shot, but we did it anyway. And we shot it the weekend before the Super Bowl, got it back to them. And that Sunday, it was airing in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
I'm in love with your mother. Your mother.
Absolutely. So they used to say, you need a sizzle reel. The sizzle reel is too long. It has to be, right at, it has to be like seconds. And they
then people come in with storyboards. We just kicked it up a level. Storyboards here. We're gonna show you the finished product. We're gonna show you how what it looks like.
What is is your mom getting recognized now?
Oh, my mother thinks she's a star. She thinks, and she is. And she is. I won't take that from her, but she thinks she really believes and feels and knows that she's a star. And she lets me know it every chance that she gets, that it's because of her that I am who I am. So I was like, all right, mama. All right.
Hey, tell them how your mom. But tell them how your mom was losing at bingo. Like she couldn't keep $1 in her purse because she was all going to.
She still can't keep $1 in her purse. I still have to hide money from her. She doesn't know how much she has because she would give it away at the bingo hall. But let her tell it. She wins. I was like, win? Win what?
Hey, at what point did you think, hey, moms, you want to come in and do this? You want to come in and do this with me? George, went back to like a Walmart commercial too.
Yeah. I had her 6 years ago. Yeah, first year Blackish. I had that Walmart campaign, and I had her come in with me there. But you know what, man? This is what my mother wanted to do with her life, and it never happened for her. She was a single mother at the time, put her dreams of being an actor on hold to raise an actor, so.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful you've done that, brother. I love that.
Yeah, so now I get to pay it forward in a way that's unbelievable. I get to allow my mother to live out her dream.
And it's a
wait till you show up at
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving and she gives you a writer.
What's that? What'd you say, dear? What was that?
Wait till you show up on Thanksgiving and she gives you a writer.
Only M&Ms. You say that like you know my mama.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm gonna tell you
that's
this.
Funny.
We shot one of our T-Mobile spots during quarantine. It was something to promote Quibi. So I was like, hey, Mom, they want us to do this. You down? She was like, yeah, I'm down. I was like, okay, look, come by yourself. I said, just come here and we'll shoot it in the house. And it's going to be just a 2-man crew. Steve, our director, and Adam, the writer. That's it. So she gets it in her head that she wants to have a whole entourage here. So she called production company and found her a driver who is literally in a hermetically sealed suit, wearing not just a face mask, but a whole helmet. So he's breathing his own air. They sent me a picture of this. It was like, this is the driver for your mother tomorrow. I was like, man, we don't need all that, dog. We good. My mama's driving to my house herself. Don't worry about that. We good. She wanted her hair person. She wanted her makeup person. She wanted a driver. I was like, Mom, it's me and you. It's me and you. We got this. Just come on over. I got somebody that's gonna powder your face. She showed up with a 75-year-old woman who lives in the senior citizen complex with her. I was like, Mama, you bringing COVID in my house? What the hell are you doing?
That's great.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Wait, so your mom lives in a senior citizen center?
My mother manages, is the resident manager at a senior citizen complex.
Oh hell!
Wow.
So she's doling out autographs right now, right?
She's been doing that for years. She used to forge my autograph on pictures and give them to people. Hey, Anthony wanted you to have this.
Well, you know, one queen is good, but 2 queens might be better. So let's welcome another queen in. The Queen of the South, La Reina de la Sur, Kate del Castillo.
Hey everybody, how are you?
Hi.
Aquí nomás.
And Kate, you know.
Hey, Kate.
You know.
And Kate has her own. First of all, she has her own tequila.
Which I'm really here.
Wow, that's a beautiful bottle.
Nice. I love the name.
Honor tequila. It's tequila honor del Castillo, which honor and honor is the same in English and Spanish, same spelling, same meaning. Yeah. That's why I love it. So I'm having a little of my honor.
You know what though?
To share with you.
I am so happy that you have a tequila because I'm like sick of seeing all these people who aren't Mexican or Latino making millions on tequila.
Well, I'm not making millions, but at least I have.
Well, let's hope you make millions. I mean, George Clooney. ¿Cómo se llama el otro? El esposo de la Cindy.
Sí.
Well, Lana and Kate look like they can fuck you up, but Ana is the sleeper because she'll cut you. With no question. But a real Mexicana. Explain to me now. Let's get what is the idea of Cinco de Mayo to a person who is really Mexican, Kate?
I thank you for asking. In Mexico, and sorry, that's going to be a bummer, but in Mexico, we do not celebrate el Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
Cinco de Mayo is celebrated by the Americans because our president back then, que era Benito Juárez, asked the Americans to help us kick out the French people who were trying to come in and invade and everything. So the I don't know, sorry, but I don't remember who was in charge, but whoever was in charge said, hell yeah, América para los americanos. O sea que in that phrase I love because you know, Americans say that Americans are only the USA people, but I am American too because I live in in America. So that's why you guys celebrate so much because it was a success. So you helped us kick out the French. Sorry, French people. It's nothing personal, but that's why you guys celebrated so much. And I am with you. I love it. I love el Cinco de Mayo.
Right on. Right.
Y ahorita estás, let's ask this, how much do you love it? Are you in the United States right now or are you in a foreign country?
Yes, I'm home. I've been living here in Los Angeles, California for 20 years. I came here because I didn't find the opportunities in my hometown, Mexico City. Unfortunately, in Latin countries, it's hard to find good opportunities to be a better person or to provide more for your family or whatever it is you know, whatever it is that you do. So I came here 20 years ago to start over my career. I had a good name in Mexico as an actress back then, and I needed to start from scratch. So it was really challenging because I had to start literally from scratch. And but what I found amazing was that I was not stereotyped in the way that in Mexico stereotyped me as this kind of first, you know, starring role, leading lady,
Right.
and this and that. But on the other hand, they did stereotype me as la Latina, you know, Latinas, whatever you think about Latinas, but this was 20 years ago. They wouldn't ever, never give me, in TV at least, a role with this accent.
Well, I think in the Bad Boys movie, more people are afraid of you than Martin Lawrence and Will Smith together.
Well, I told him that yesterday. I said I watched Bad Boys for Life the other night, and hell, she's a bad bitch and a witch. Very serious.
I guess I am, and I love that you say that. You know, I love you. I'm such a big fan of all of you, Anthony. I mean, todos. Gracias. Thank you for having me. But I think it's important how much, you know, and how much it has changed in 20 years. Slow, but it's been changing. At least now I can do, I mean, I want to see more names like mine in a big movie like Bad Boys, you know. I want to see more Latinos. I want to see, but I also want to keep away from stereotypes. Every time that I do a work here in the United States, I have to dye my hair black. I have to, you know, so sometimes I'm too Latina, or not as Latina, or I'm not. There's always something, and that's why I'm starting to produce with my producing company, because I just want to make amazing fucking shows, amazing fucking movies.
Okay, so who was an actor? Because I know Lana has your aunt. Was your mom, Lana? Was your mom an actress? Did she want to act? I know your.
No, my mother never did. My mother's a painter. My father was a baseball player.
Yeah, but your aunt is an actress, right?
My aunt's an actress.
And how did you get your love of acting? Yes, of comedy. How did you find your way to acting?
Honestly, I feel like it was just, I was born with it, because at the age of about 2-3 years old, my family was making family videos on the 8mm, and we were always a part of those movies. And so at around 4 or 5 years old, my mother caught me crying in front of a mirror, and she said, "Oh my God, what's wrong? What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm practicing." And it was something that,
I love it.
I think I just always knew I wanted to do, and then really started studying, like reading plays and stuff at 12. Wanted to go to LaGuardia High, but I grew up in Brooklyn, and my father said, absolutely not. My daughter's not getting on a train at 5 in the morning to be in, you know, school at 7 in Manhattan. So I had to wait a little bit. But then as soon as I came out here, around 17 years old, I started studying. And at 19, I said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Lana, my mother caught me crying in front of the mirror too. It was the night Donald Trump got elected.
All of us were with you. All of us were with you there.
Shit. Lloré,
so I know. So Kate,
by my aunt for sure.
So Kate's, you know, Kate comes from a Mexican family where they were thin and very attractive. Was your father or mother an actress, Kate?
My dad is a huge actor. He's done over than 300 movies. He's done. I've worked with him on theater, on stage a couple of times, and we went on tour. And he's very famous in Mexico. Actually, I think that all the love that I get from fans and from people is because of my father. I know that, and he's a very respectable, you know, not only actor but as a person. He's an amazing person. I'm very proud of him.
Okay, so do you remember on a Sunday at Fox Studios when you came in and we were doing Rio and you on the Bird movie, and you played my wife and you had to come in and sing horribly?
I did amazing. That was, they cast me, and my audition was singing horribly, so I nailed it. Nail it.
So in the first Rio movie made a lot. Anthony did Ferdinand with our man Carlos, but in that day they said Eva, your wife, is going to come in and you're going to compliment her on her horrible singing. And Kate came in on a Sunday and she squealed at me, and I was like, oh, that is like the sweetest mango, the sweetest honey in the whole world. You remember that, Kate?
Of course I did. And it was, I was with George Lopez, okay? So I was like, shit, I'm gonna give everything that's in me. I'm gonna do my best, and here you go. And I got the part, but then they cut me off the movie. We have to talk.
It's a little bit, but I said, but I mean, it was amazing to
The best voice.
Yeah, on a Sunday to come in and be able to have fun and do that like that.
Kate, can you hear your accent in English? Like, can you? Because I can't hear my accent. I know I have one, but can you hear it?
I don't hear an accent on you, but I do hear on me. I think I have not a horrible accent. It's just my accent, and I embrace it, and that's fine.
When I first got on TV, the people who loved me would tweet me about my sexy Latina accent, and the people who hated me would tell me to go eat another enchilada and go back to Mexico.
Wow.
And I had no idea I had an accent.
But you know what?
Everybody in Miami talks like me.
That's.
I mean, have you ever heard Emilio Estefan talk or Pitbull? No joda, eso es un acento.
Okay, let's say this. Let's say that Anthony Anderson. It's interesting because I've known Anthony for a long time, and his show Blackish deals with the issues.
I know, I'm a fan.
Amazing issues of today. Was that intentional, Anthony, or as the times changed, but as Blackish got started, was that the intention of Blackish to have those episodes where you're watching with your kids and you see the things happen now because of when my show was on, we didn't have the internet and we couldn't.
Right.
Was that intentional?
No, it was intentional, and it was just an evolution of it all, and how it all, just came together, and that is what the show is about, telling our stories in real time, telling what's going on with us in real time, while trying to be thought-provoking and funny and entertaining all at the same time. So yeah, it's by design. It's by design.
Well,
yeah.
Congratulations, because it's truly
it's a great show.
as groundbreaking as, let me just say, the Cosby Show was in the 80s. The show, it's as influential and will be beyond influential because there's so many more avenues of it, of our time. And to say that you and I are good friends would be the most understatement. I mean, I love Kate. I'm looking here, and I love all of you guys so much. And it shouldn't be Cinco de Mayo that we all find a way to talk to each other. But
I agree.
The hardest laughs.
I'm honored that you asked me to come here with these guys, Emilio, Lana, de verdad, everybody. Anthony, I'm a big fan, and I, as a Latina Mexicana, sorry guys, a real Latina Mexicana.
Shots fired.
Kate.
Anthony, the rest of them are Mexicanish.
We have to do that show. You're right.
Especially Anthony.
Mexicanish.
That's it.
No, I feel flattered and honored to be sharing this with these amazing people. Thank you, George. That's because of you.
Well, listen, you love boxing. I know you love boxing, and you have your own tequila. And let's say your choice in men. Now, are you dating currently? Are you single? What is your choice in men?
Listen, I was talking. There's no censure here, ¿verdad? No hay censura, no hay. Okay.
No,
oye, dale, no te preocupes. Métete otra tequila y no cuéntanos el cuento.
Yeah, what she said.
Les decía. Oh my God. So I was telling my friends before the pandemic that I was already virgin again. And now after the pandemic, it's like, oh my God, I feel like a just born kid, está muy mal. No, nada.
Well, here's the good news. It's like riding a bike. You never forget.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you.
I would like a challenge. I'm not, That's fine.
Let me tell you something. I've been home for 2 months. I'm tired of touching myself.
Fucking George.
Well, my things are overheated and everything. Batteries.
Okay, so when all right, people can come and go. I'd love if you guys will all stay. When I was doing my talk show, Anthony was on, and I love my talk show because it included everyone, and we weren't trying to be like every other show. Arsenio kind of back in the early 90s gave me my template of it, but there was a band on called Train, and they came on and they sang Soul Sister, and it stayed with me after. I talked to the guy, Pat Monahan. We became friends. We saw each other again up in San Francisco. We want to welcome this vato right here, soulful singer and wine lover and golfer and all around good dude. Let's say hello to Pat Monahan, who I think is in Seattle. Can I, Pat? Pat.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
There he is.
Hey, what's going on, Pat?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for letting me join on Cinco de Mayo. This is one of my favorite holidays.
What do you have on, eh? What are you wearing?
Well, white people can't celebrate anything without a little Christmas. And then this is the closest kind of cool hat I've ever had. So
What is that? From a truck? Is a trucker from a truck stop?
I don't even know. My sister-in-law gave it to me, and she hasn't talked to me since COVID started.
Oh, man.
Damn.
Yeah, how you been holding up? Like, we've all been indoors. You got your kids and everything. How you holding up, Pat?
I was okay until a couple of days ago. It got a little weird, and I started watching too many things about what we should have been doing in the first place and who really knows. And it would have been great to have somebody leading us through the whole thing. So I kind of hit a place where they opened up a golf courses today. So I just went and played golf, and I feel a little bit better. That sounds silly, but it's true.
No, that doesn't sound silly at all, Pat.
Yeah. It's a weird time.
Well, Anthony went out there to go golf where people were calling the police, and they were taking the fire roads down to tell these guys to get off the golf course.
Yeah.
And handing out $1,000 fines.
I mean, when you live in this is what I read yesterday. It's like, we think we live in a free country, but if you have 12 people in your house, a couple of you are going to jail. That doesn't sound free anymore.
Yeah, no.
I didn't hear that. I haven't heard that one. Wow,
that's true.
So, George, you mentioned that you wanted to write a song with me. So I got this idea. So I don't really play many instruments very well, but you came up with a line. You remember it?
She's on the outside.
You remember your line?
Let me hear it.
So he wrote a line that goes, "I might not be what you want. I might not be what you need.
Oh.
Let love decide."
Oh, I wrote that. Hey.
Hey, just so you know, if I sing this and something special happens, I wrote it.
Oh my God. You know what? Let me say this. I did say to Pat, I might not be what you need. I'm gonna start crying, man, because
want. You said want first.
I might not be what you want, and I might not be what you need, but let's let love decide. I sent that to Pat. Oh my God.
I came up with an idea. I'm gonna just.
I wrote it in lipstick. I wrote it in lipstick on my car.
No, you wrote it in lipstick on my car. All right, so I'm gonna just play you what I got, and then you tell me.
Oh my God, Pat!
If you want to just write this together, ready?
Oh my God!
Goes. Might not be what you want. I might not be what you need. Let's let love decide. Love decide. Might not be what you want. I might not be what you need. Let's let love decide. That's what I got.
Oh my
Yo,
God.
that's
Great.
So
That's all?
Oh,
very nice.
We
Very
need
nice.
more.
So I haven't worked in about 2 months. So if you give me $1 million, I'll finish that shit.
No, I'm gonna finish it right now. Hang on.
Yeah, I'll do backup.
I'm gonna finish it right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, here we go.
This is tuned to A. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so is mine. My tia told me to tell you to go. My tia told me to tell you no. I might not be what you want. I might not be what you need. But in 2 seconds you're about to bleed and the gun goes off. Here's the chorus. Here's the chorus.
Yeah.
Vete a la verga. Vete a la verga. Everybody. Vete a la verga. No te quiero ver no más. Tírame por atrás. Thank you. It has a little. It ends.
When you said no
ends
mas,
sexual.
I started to clap. It was a good line.
That's why I love this guy. I mean, listen, if you can't laugh and you can't during the toughest times of all of our lives, because no one gets here by accident and nothing is written in stone. And nothing is guaranteed, and everybody knows that. I mean, you know, when Kate said, imagine being known in Mexico and then coming to the United States and having to start from fucking zero, having to go on auditions and having no one know you. I mean.
No, thank you. I mean, we all struggle. Listen, we all struggle, and when everybody's trying to do the best we can, and I think we're and I believe very deeply that we're gonna come back as different human beings, but much better, in a better way, better different human beings. Hopefully we will. And I want to send you my love. I need to leave, but it was my pleasure. Thank you. It's been an honor to be beautiful.
Hey, lovely to meet you.
Where do we get the? Wait,
we love you, Kate.
Where do we buy the tequila?
You can buy online. You can buy on the Vallarta supermarket. There's many, but if you go to tequilano.com, you can see everywhere. We still don't have, you know, we're just born, so we're getting there to get more money and this and that. This is a boutique destilera in Jalisco, where you have to do the tequila. If it's not from Tequila Jalisco, then it's not a tequila. It's just like champagne. If it's not from Champagne, France, it's not a champagne. It's just a sparkling, bubbly, whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
Same with tequila.
And you know what? That's the problem, that people from Mexico think they're better than us. Okay, thank you, Kate. All right, Kate, thanks.
We should do a Zoom talking about tequila and showing you, how do you say, Mexican gringos, how to drink tequila.
Let's do a video about that. Pat,
hey,
you're out.
George,
Bring the hat back.
off, brother. Just wanted to jump in, man, and say thank you for the invite and happy Cinco de Mayo.
I love you, Anthony. I love you, man.
I love you, brother.
Great to see you.
Lana,
Thank you,
soon,
brother.
Anthony. Take care, brother.
Emilio, everybody.
Take care, brother.
Thank
All
you.
right, take care. Dear in the red, I don't know your name. I'm sorry.
That's Ana Navarro.
Longoria.
Anna,
how are you, Anna?
Ana Longoria.
I love it. Momo, I see you. All right, love you guys, man. Take
All right,
care.
love you, brother.
Anthony.
Take care.
Hey, how is everybody entertaining the children, Pat? How are the kids doing?
They're
over
doing
there?
fine. It's school stuff. I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. It's not easy. And I was golfing today with a guy who's in banking. He was the most positive guy I've ever been around. And he was telling me that he hates to complain because we're in this place, and he's so fortunate, as we all are, to be very fortunate that we can get through this differently than other people. But I realized that it's still okay to bitch.
Right.
As long as you don't stay in it, right? Just like complain and move on. But I don't know, like sometimes I need to complain. I need to complain about my kids' schoolwork, the fact that, we have to be their teachers now. And, you know, there's a lot of nonsense with not really knowing what this thing is. I read an article today that said it's not about flattening the curve, it's about flattening the lie. And so there, you know, this is a whole thing about what is this really going to do? So that's the frustrating part, and I think that we're doing the best we can, as everybody is, and we do feel fortunate. That
how do you golf right now? What does that mean? What are the precautions you gotta take in order to golf?
What? Wait, what?
You said you were golfing?
Yeah, I was golfing with a guy who was telling me that he doesn't like to complain.
But how do you social distance and golf? I mean, are there special precautions in place in order to golf?
Well, golf is kind of the ultimate social distance sport. None of us are good enough to be playing close enough together. Like, we're hitting balls everywhere you can imagine. George knows.
That's great, bro.
Pinche Emilio, you know what Emilio told me? I said, Emilio, how did you get into golf? And he said, George, let me tell you, you know, with the mustache. He goes, hey, somebody told me I could hit something white with a stick, and I said, vámonos, I'm in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fucking George, God, that's got you. Huh?
I'm in.
Hey, so comedians want to be singers, singers want to be comedians, actors want to be rock stars. Pat, I know you love comedy. You're friends with a lot of comedians. When did you find music, or when did music find you?
Well, you know, you and I have talked about this a long time, but I was the last of 7 kids, and comedy was the only way to survive any family with 7 kids. And music was something that we did while we smoked weed, and comedy was what we did to not kill each other. And so trying to find a place in all of it was really interesting, but I really was so blessed to have a voice that I could sing, and I just knew that it was a gift, and I just never took it for granted. And I sang one time with Al Green's band, and
Wow.
I think I was like 28, and I walked in and they were like, who's this idiot? And then I sang, and they really loved me, because one dude was 70 years old and he said, congratulations for respecting your gift. And I just never will ever take for granted the fact that I can do something that most people can't do. I just really want to present that gift as often as I can and really respect it.
Okay, let me ask you something. Did you write Hey Soul Sister, Ain't That Mr.?
Yeah.
Okay, explain to me how you wrote Hey Soul Sister, Ain't That Mr.?
So there's my band started in San Francisco, and Burning Man started in San Francisco. So I imagined my beautiful wife dancing around a fire to carry a lace upon the road that I must travel. And it was just like that. You remember that band?
Yes.
So that's
right.
where it all started.
Who sang Take On Me?
That's Aha.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So,
Are you guys all
Mr.
having is it tequila or you have?
Yeah, what do you got? We're having tequila. Lana's having green juice.
Finished it.
Lana's having green juice that was delivered by a guy that's left-handed, so he wouldn't have to, less contact.
Hey,
Emilio doesn't drink because he'll end up in the Twin Towers again like the first time. So if anybody wants to toast, I'll toast Pat. Listen, Pat and I when you meet somebody, you know, I think I can look at everybody on this screen right here and say that the first time that I saw them, I knew I was going to be friends with you guys. And
that's very kind.
And I'm not the easiest guy to make friends with.
George, I met you almost 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago.
Yes, yeah. And then you bought the gum, and then you came into America, the little chiclitos, the chiclets. I try to sell our cars.
I would like to give a toast before you guys kick me out of here, which is...
No, you can stay.
I feel like...
No, you're a token white person. We're not kicking you out.
I was raised Irish Catholic. That's not what I am right now, but I feel like I must have been Mexican in most of my other lives, because 2 of my guys in my band are Mexican.
They're great
musicians.
My
favorite people in the whole world. They're generous, hardworking, funny. They take this whole thing so much better. I would love to have a Latino as a president soon. If any of you guys would volunteer, that'd be great. And so here's to Cinco de Mayo and to all of the amazing things that your people have done for all other people.
He must have had a salad today. Thank you, Pat.
Salud.
Thank you, Pat. Salud.
He must have had a salad. But so
I'm gonna head out.
okay, Lana, thank
I
you.
gotta go. I love you, George.
I love you. Okay.
And thank
Good
you
meet-
so much for having me.
Pat, don't go anywhere. Thank you, Lana. We love you.
Bye,
Thank you,
Lana.
Lana.
Meet you.
Bye,
Good meeting
everybody.
you. Take care.